Sorry if I offended you. Hey, on this week's episode, it's not going to be so much of a happy little story that leads to some sort of conclusion. This is the universal sign for conclusion. Today is just a straight struggle that I have had for a while. It started for me a couple of years ago. I walked outside of our house, out to my car. For whatever reason, I looked down our street and I knew that a neighbor of ours, about 4 houses down, they were wonderful people. Really, really good people. Like the whole street knew that that house and those people were fantastic. The thing that I knew is that they weren't Christians at all. And I looked at my own life as a guy who had been a Christian for 30 years and I thought, why after 30 years does my life not look more like a Christian's life is supposed to? I claim to serve the creator of the universe. The God of the universe, I claim, lives inside of me. And yet my life looks no different than everyone else on our street, except for that neighbor who's not even a Christian. You look at the people in the Bible, like the heroes of the Bible, and they did some pretty remarkable things, it would seem. And then I look at my life, normal guy who hasn't done anything very significant. I feel like if I squint more into the camera, it feels like I'm very much more serious and listen to this. When we open up the Bible, it's full of stories and illustrations and examples of a God who put his power on display for his people. My eyebrows are itchy. Now, whether you believe those stories are true or not, the point is, it shows an example and illustrates this God that did some crazy things. Now, if you fast forward to the New Testament, then we see God being present in the form of this fellow named Jesus. And Jesus did a lot of crazy sort of miraculous things. And then after Jesus is out of the picture in the New Testament, something happens that forever changed the way that we encounter God. Jesus leaves and he tells his followers, don't worry, I know you like me, but I'm leaving you with someone who's better than even me being here. Now, I'm not talking about whether the Holy Spirit is alive and well today or what that means for us today. I have my own beliefs and you may as well. You may think I'm crazy. That's probably a good hypothesis. That's a big word I just used. Now, the point I'm trying to make is, and I could be wrong, I probably am, but when I look at the God that's presented in the Bible, he wasn't shy, he wasn't quiet, he wasn't timid. If you fast forward to today, and you look at the God that's presented to people today, it's a very different sort of God, at least in America. The God of America seems to be a very quiet, very distant, very sort of small God. When you look at the early church, the church that was formed in the New Testament of the Bible, after Jesus did his thing here on the earth, that church tore things up in the world. They turned things upside down. If the church of today was to fill the pages of the Bible, I don't think people would really take notice. I know for sure if my life was an example of God's power, people would be like, I don't think your God's really that impressive. A normal guy doing very normal things, just like everyone else in the world. Wow, that's a big God. Maybe your life is totally different. Maybe you're like, no, if my life was in the Bible, people will be like, whoa. If you have a story like that, let me know. I'd love to hear it. Why is the God of today so much smaller, so much quieter, so much more timid than the Bible's God? I don't get it.